It's happening, guys! I've been promising best of dedicated to the rice powder note in the perfumery, and I'm ready to share with you my top 10 favorite perfumes that feature that note, and it is one of the central ones in them. So please keep on watching to find out more about top 10 rice powder fragrances. Hello everyone! Yes, oh my god, rice powder. This is what we'll talk about in this video. I've been taking some time, to collect all perfumes that I wanted. Some of them have been on my wish list with rice powder for many years. And so without further ado, let's just jump right into this month's best of. And oh my goodness, it feels like ages since I've done the last one. So let me know what you want me to discuss in the next one. I'm thinking about aldehydes, but long story short, rice powder, one of the most romantic, imaginary, cozy, beautiful notes in the perfumery, in my personal opinion, that smells kind of fantasy-like, nutty, earthy, powdery, warm, cozy, delicious. I love this note. I tend to enjoy perfumes that feature this note. I haven't tried a lot of fragrances with rice powder because it's something rare, because perfumers need to create a rice accord, because there is no such thing as rice powder absolute or something like that. Maybe there will be something like that in the future, but at the moment perfumers need to be very creative and kind of like construct that accord. And so I have 10 very different perfumes, but rice powder is in each of them. And as you know, I really prefer to keep my best-ofs diverse, so everybody with our very special taste can find something interesting in here. So I hope it's going to be helpful, and if you know any rice powder featuring fragrances, please comment them down below. And on that note, let's get started. I wanted that intro to be short, but that's me. I can't help but ramble and chat, but you guys, tiny treasure that finally joined my collection, and it is called Vientiane. Vientiane is the perfume that has been on my wish list for years. Like I'm telling you, once I smelled it, I fell in love with it right away, and you can actually watch that first impressions video in which I tested the sample of Vientiane natural perfume by the American indie house Providence Perfume & Co. that is dedicated to the note of sandalwood actually, and its name Vientiane means the city of sandalwood, actually the capital of Laos. So this is a sandalwood perfume. There are multiple sandalwood materials in there. It's a natural fragrance. It's rich, powdery, woody, and ricey too. So it's delicious and yummy, but at the same time with this beautiful woodiness to it. So it's very textural, and I know that that was a homemade jasmine rice tincture that Charna created particularly for this fragrance. So it is composed out of rare and costly essences, and it's just something so special and particular that has always been on my mind, but somehow I didn't really buy it right away. It took me literally years, and it can be like that. Sometimes you fall in love with perfume and you purchase it right at that day when you smelled it, and sometimes it takes you forever. And yes, this is probably the first true rice powder fragrance I've ever experienced. Plus it is amazing for the lovers of sandalwood, creamy but not too milky, it's still woody. So yes, it's natural, complex, with great longevity actually. So Vientiane is the one I can definitely recommend for the lovers of complex fragrances, but at the same time it is quite linear, powdery sandalwood with super yummy rice powder. Yes, it's my number one, that's why I mention it as the first one. But let's move on to the rest because that stuff is potent too. I know I'm so chatty, but that's because I'm really excited for the rice powder and for this next fragrance, Tea Escape by Maison Margiela. And I'm kind of cheating here because it is discontinued, which is such a shame because in my opinion that was the best perfume from Maison Margiela's replica collection, and it has the most amazing tea scent that opens up with fresh mint, and you literally have a feeling that in front of you is a cool cup of green minty tea, and then in the background, particularly when it develops, you get that milky, still green and tea-like, but powdery quality of osmanthus, milk and rice powder. And in my opinion this is a very fresh, very aromatic and very interesting perfume, unlike many others, and I don't really understand why they discontinued it. So I know that Fabrice Pellegrin, who is the nose behind this fragrance, creates amazing perfumes, like for example a Mochi Atelier in Tokyo from Zara's new Memories collection that I've recently reviewed. And when I tested it, I was first kind of intrigued by its very dry, truly powdery scent. You know, it's kind of like dusty and very dry, and it was inspired by the Asian dessert mochi, which is kind of dry too and powdery. I don't know why my nose itches. Ugh. But yeah, anyway, later it definitely transforms and develops, and it turns so elegant, like to die for. And the nose behind these two is Fabrice Pellegrin, and in the dry down it reminds me a lot of Tea Escape, but it's not dupe enough because there is no freshness, minty tea quality of Tea Escape. But if you're just looking for something in a similar vibe, I can definitely recommend you this one, particularly of its dry down. And you know, both perfumes were inspired by Tokyo, this and this, so I'm just telling you, I'm not sure how long it's gonna be available, so definitely grab it if you love something woody, very powdery and dry. The notes are very simple: pear, rice powder and sandalwood. Amazing notes, love them, and this is a very gorgeous fragrance, affordable too, so just throw it in there. Let's talk about something real fun. Dragonfly by Zoologist, which features the most amazing notes. Like when you look at the notes, you already wanna get that fragrance. And by the way, don't be confused because I have no official label of Dragonfly, because this was Victor Swan's gift when we met at Art of Action Awards in Berlin. That was our first meeting together. So this is actually a very sweet, almost like almond powdered fragrance that is fresh. I don't really know how to describe it, and that is why it is always so confusing and strange and weird to me, and at the same time I'm always attracted to Dragonfly because, like the real insect, it changes, you know, changes its color, under certain light it shifts, and so does this fragrance, which is really powdery. It can be even heavy if you overspray it. There is a note of heliotrope and iris, this rice powder accord, but at the same time the freshness that comes from the aldehydes, rainwater drops, and some very clean and fresh flowers such as sakura blossom and lotus flower, they make it almost not aquatic but springy. So this is a very fun, not linear rice powder fragrance. It has a lot to it, it's sweet, and it is definitely for the lovers of hardcore powdery fragrances who want something fresh in them. My huge love. I fell in love with it when I saw the notes. Bergamot, rice powder, very new molecule prednisone, hedione and sandalwood. Perfume created by Alberto Marias for L'Artisan Parfumeur. And I have to be honest with you, this fragrance that was inspired by the area in France called Le Champ de Camache is definitely one of my most favorite perfumes in my collection, not only because it is powdery but also because it is very abstract and it kind of smells floral, but you can't detect the actual flower in there, and it just smells like the powder cloud of the rice powder in a clean, crisp morning air. And that's for, I think it's one of the most luminous fragrances that is powdery but not dry and dusty, rather almost moist. So Benny gifted me for my birthday this year, and I'm so much in love with it. I wanted it because of that rice powder note and the rest amazing things that's in there, and also reminds me a little bit of Amouage's Love Mimosa, because in those perfumes we have this note Paradisone. So yeah, if you like that, you will also like this. I'm definitely a fan. It's a casual fragrance that is not as rice powdery as, for example, Vientiane or some next ones that I'll mention but it's just a very modern and second skin-like fragrance that makes me feel very, very good. And I like when fragrances do that. Here, for those gourmand lovers among you, I have Madara by PERFUMES, which is basically a rice pudding in a bottle, very creamy, thick rice pudding with pistachio and spices, some floral undertone, but nothing too crazy. It's definitely a gourmand, it's definitely very eatable. You'll be hungry when you'll smell it, and it's just something that you want to put on when maybe you're stressed out, maybe you're feeling down, and it is an instant mood enchanter. It will make you happy, it will make you feel cozy, like if you are eating rice powder, you know. So yeah, in case you're looking for something that will stay long, something with oily texture, something that will definitely make you, you know, satisfied not only in your nose but also in your stomach, that's Madara by PERFUMES. Definitely treat for the gourmand lovers among you who want some unusual twist in your sweet fragrance. And I'm very excited that I have a perfume to mention my best of that is a bit more accessible and you can find on the market, because Aizumiyaki came up with Le Dessé Shades of Column this year, which features the note of rice powder, and I sincerely hope that other brands, not only niche and indie ones but also designers, will actually notice that rice powder can be a new trend, a new amazing trend. Guys, let's do this. I know that when I transmit my ideas and wishes into kind of like the fragrance universe, I get amazing response. So here I am telling you, do more rice powder perfumes. And if you guys agree with me, definitely like this video and comment below your thoughts if you want more rice powder fragrances or not. I hope you do. That's why you're watching this video, but whatever. This fragrance is actually very wearable, typically designer fragrance that is about abstract flowers. I will apply a little bit on my nude top. Yes, it opens up with this very fresh scent of grapefruit and rose, but as it develops, it turns very elegant, similarly to Zara's fragrance, and the rice powder note is very delicate in there. I think it's for those who are not very comfortable with this note but really definitely want to start experience it, but not like a heavy full-on rice powder, rather delicate in the background, definitely not dominant. And that's why I recommend this very affordable fragrance that is, in my opinion, something that is worth checking out on the designer market. And so yeah, it's like go-to everyday friendly fragrance that doesn't really smell like everything else out there, although it's not too crazily different. So I'm just telling you, this is a lovely fragrance. And by the way, do you notice these two have something in common? Don't you think? Alright, this next perfume might have the most boring, the most uninspiring, the most, you know, like not interesting at all bottle, packaging, whatever, but this is the prettiest scent ever. Like literally, I am head over heels about this Blind by Viva by DSH Perfumes that is inspired by Japanese freshwater Viva pearls and the lake that produces them. In here we have aldehydes, rice powder, steamed jasmine rice, accord, soft exotic woods, and some other magic from Dawn. You know, it's one of my most favorite brands. I love Dawn's signature. All her perfumes are kind of ethereal. This one is like that. When you spray it on, it is surely powdery already in the opening, but still you get that pearlescent, minty, aldehydic sparkle, and then I can't even describe it. It's very creamy, ethereal, vanillic, but not sweet or gourmand rice powder. I don't know, it's very, very special, and it was inspired by Robert Herman, who was the contributor at South Leblanc magazine, and he passed away and had this last wish for Dawn to create this fragrance, and it's literally a miracle in a bottle. And I'm telling you, if you want something incredibly beautiful, likable right away, if you want perfume that will be like something very special in your collection, then I highly recommend you to check it out. You don't really have to show it to people, you won't impress anyone with its look, but you will definitely impress people with its smell. Now, my dear friends, I have perfume Aurora by Charles Wang to share with you, and although its name is feminine, its scent is rather masculine and very aquatic. It features the note of rice, but it's oceanic rice, it's green rice, it's mineral rice. It's not actually that ricey at all, but whatever, it's in there, it's in my collection. I wanted to include it for men among you who maybe want some rice powder in the perfume, but definitely not as a main player, rather in the background, and those notes of bamboo leaves and fig leaves, some water, some mineral notes, and the ocean breeze, as well as delicate and definitely very, very light and fresh flowers, you know, to do the job. That's the fragrance I highly recommend for those who are looking for a classy aquatic fragrance with a modern twist. That's it. Its projection is amazing, and that's for I'm really excited to have an opportunity to talk about it once again on my channel. And as the final fragrance, I'll be featuring Poudre de Ritz by SP Parfums. And this, my dear friends, you won't believe, but that very sexy rice powder. Yes, it's almost dirty because, you know, it has Sven Pritzkelite's touch, which is very, very recognizable. I think that Sven has very special in his true way creating perfumes. You can tell this is SP Parfum, and it's powdery for sure, but it's like you've been doing something forbidden with your lover all night long, and then you put on the clothing you wore last night, and you know, it just smells sexy and dirty, but in this beautiful powdery way. So yes, in here we have rice powder, we have jasmine, which, as you've noticed, is a pretty popular combo of notes. Rice, jasmine, rose, musk of course, and then some heavy flowers like ylang ylang and tonka bean, you know, for that heaviness. So I think this is actually a really nice perfume to wear on a sexy date, or when you are actually a grown-up and you're looking for a serious perfume, you know, with great projection, with amazing sillage, with creative energy, and with something that people will be definitely like wowed by, you know, because they haven't smelled anything like it. So that's for, I recommend you Sven Pritzkelite if you're ready for some rice powder craziness. Alright, that was my top 10 rice powder fragrances. Now to quickly sum up, I think if you're a gourmand lover and you want your rice powdery perfume to be more sweet and eatable and delicious and gourmand, then I recommend you Madara, and I can also recommend you maybe Vientiane. In both of these perfumes, rice powder is pretty dominant, so it's for those who want this note to be noticeable and the main player for sure. In my opinion, Vientiane is still #1 for those who are craving rice powder and are looking for the best realistic rice powder scent. For those who are looking for something elegant with noticeable rice powder, I recommend these three: L'Artisan's Parfumeur Le Chant de Camache, Viva by DSH Perfumes, and Emochi Atelier in Tokyo by Zara. All of them are very elegant and exquisite. every in its own manner. And then these two are very, very easygoing, rather feminine, rather masculine. It's up to you what you'll pick. On that note, that completes this video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed watching it. Let me know in the comments which of these 10 interested you the most, and which perfumes with rice or rice powder do you know, and do you want to see more upcoming perfumes featuring this note. I'm really excited to hear your feedback, and if you had fun watching this video and you like my best offs and you're looking for the next one, please give this one thumbs up, like it, subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and thank you so much for watching. Definitely follow me on my social media for more content, and we'll see each other in the next one, so stay tuned. Bye guys!